we're going to see that, and then from there we're going to move on to Manta Maria, which we talked about a lot before, especially the Clan Blitz, which we talked about.
So I'm really excited to see that.
I'm excited to see that, and thankfully, like, we're actually going to be able to see it. Like, it's not going to end. It's not going to be like on the Game 4 and they get 3-0'd. So we're going to see right now. We're hopping into the Reef. We're about to see what these teams bring out to combat each other.
All right, and this is game 1 of the set. Overpower versus Eggy. Let's see.
And we do see the Splat Charger coming out. Scoped. I'm not the biggest fan of scopes, but that's my personal preference.
I mean, hey, some people actually work some real magic with scope, I have to say.
I am not. Power is amazing with it. And we actually saw 2 stealth jumps and 2 object shredders coming in from Eggy. With the object shredders, I'm wondering if they're just trying to break through walls or
probably Brellas, honestly.
Yeah, you know what? That's probably it. And so we see Overpower getting the initial lead. They take down Eggy 3 down, and so now they're pushing up on the left side. Derek with the pro pushing up towards their alley.
That meta comp really paying off right now. They've got complete control over Eggy, just riding the tower along that trail, while their teammates are just applying so much pressure up right on their spawn.
As we see, they're just pushing up to the base and just making it very hard for Eggy to actually get out. And so they have to cover up, and they have to watch their entire motion of views to even push out of their base. Swiffy buying time here with the Stingray, trying to get at least a pick, but having to focus on the Stingray to make sure that they don't push any forward. And looks like they're able to push out just a little bit more, but at the same time, Overpower is pulling out with their own Stingray.
Yeah, and Overpower is just continuing to get the tower going. Oh, Froggy trying to get something going with the flank from behind. He takes down Overpower's Splatling, and then he even takes down Nico. Very nice.
It seems like they got a second win chance here. Froggy's definitely clearing the right side. They need to focus on painting a bit more, I think. They definitely don't have the heavier painting comp. The sniper just pushed them back a little bit more on that, which means that the rest of the team has to compensate a little bit more just to cover that up.
Yeah, that end zap that they have is really going to have to come up big in terms of painting, considering that the other team has a Splatling and a Kunder, which is just a crazy good lineup for painting.
And then we saw right there, Eggy had 3 specials at the ready. They used 1, but unfortunately the Stingray did get taken out. And unfortunately the people on tower right there did get pincered by a torpedo and whoever was shooting at them from behind. It unfortunately, that's just a good pincer move from Overpower.
Yeah, they really put an end to that push real quickly. And now Nico's wasting no time trying to see where he can weasel his way into Eggy's spawn to just apply as much pressure as possible.
Yeah, and we see JM pulling out the Stingray. Unfortunately, they do get missiled, but...
Oh, wow, that was sneaky.
Ooh.
But Spider's having none of that.
Spider there in the center, just trying to hold on to the tower.
They've got that man advantage.
They still Overpower still has that last checkpoint they gotta chew through in order to get to that final ending push. But it looks like Eggy has a really good hold on that particular checkpoint right now. It is the hardest one to achieve, obviously, but let's see what Overpower responds to.
Yeah, oh man, it looks like Overpower is really starting to take control, getting the tower right past the court, bringing it up into their street now.
And the map is so blue right now. Like Froggy unfortunately out of position. And they jumped off the tower. Nico's right next to it, but he's not riding.
I think they're just going to let it reset.
I can't say that I really agree with that, because he could have been chipping away at that at the checkpoint.
Yeah, I think Nico was waiting for someone else to ride tower so that he could keep applying pressure, but none of his teammates were there until much later, but they get picked off the tower right away.
And so they get down right now, 2 down for Overpower. JM on the right side. Looks like they might get taken out. No, trade right there with
decent
Blush.
Trade right there, but still opening the door for Eggy to get a push going, but they still have a disadvantage in terms of manpower.
Disadvantage in manpower and a little bit on the map control. And this is what I'm saying right now with the bridge. Derek right now on the bridge has entire control of it, is able to see where they're coming from, and has the range to stop most of the enemy weapons on the other side.
Yeah, Eggy's just trying to find a way in, and Overpower's just not having it.
We see the missiles going out from Blush, able to get the pick on Sagging, which is their Brella player. Ooh, and Derek getting the double on those teammates right there. And right now they have the Overpower has the opportunity to just push in there again. We're gonna see them going there. Derek with the Booyah bombs with the Booyah bomb at the ready. Popping it out right now. Gonna probably try to
get rid of that Stingray.
Yep.
But I think it got caught on the wall. Yeah, it did, so it didn't reach him.
And right now we see Overpower is 2 down, but right there, Derek again at the bridge, getting people to jump to him.
At this point, they can just kind of hold mid, stay safe, build up specials to stop the push, and not really waste their resources getting picked off.
And as we're saying this, it looks like Egg is going to be coming out with their final push. Their heavy getting taken down. That was their Splat lane. It looks like their special points are only. They got a while. Yeah, they got a while to go to build that Stingray.
Stingray coming out on the part of Eggy, trying to get some picks so that people can't come and stop the tower.
Now they have 2 people on the tower, which I didn't agree with. One could have been pushing up forward on their plat in that ramp. If they would have been able to do that, I think that could have gotten them the game. If someone was up there by their lamp and just able to hold them back just a little bit longer.
There was that, and also I think what happened is that Swifty popped their Stingray a little too early. Most of Overpower was still respawning, and so there was no point in really trying to get picks when most of them were still not even on the map yet. Whereas if they had waited maybe 10 seconds more, people would have been on their way back into mid, and at that point you can get them on the respawn.
But really close towards the end, Eggy showing that they do got some fight in them. They got some coordination they can pull out. Now let's see what they can do on Clan Blitz, which requires the most coordination.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a real interesting one. But let's go back to that last game where we saw this crazy push on the part of Overpower. They just rode that tower all the way to, I think, like 30 points or something.
They pushed it up to like 30. 20. Yeah, they pushed it up to 20. They got it to that checkpoint. They weren't. They were unfortunately not able to break that checkpoint.
And that was a single push too. They just like pushed it all the way up at the beginning of the game, and then they just played it safe, defended the entire time. Eggy got some decent pushes in, but every time Overpower was able to stop them in their tracks.
Yeah, and I believe honestly, what was a really big problem with Eggy in that entire game was special coordination. Because I don't believe any two went down at the same time until the very end, their final push, where they used not only the Stingray, but someone was popping Booyah Bomb on the enemy alley.
Right.
And they pushed. They were able to keep him at bay. But like I said, at that point there was 2 people riding the tower, where one could have been on the tower.
Oh gosh, yeah, that was a sick double on the part of Derek.
Yeah, where one could have been on the tower, and the other could have been at the enemy entrance and their drops, just waiting for them to come down and causing a distraction, throwing bombs, etc.
Here we see that final push, and yeah, exactly. Like everybody from Overpower had just gotten out of spawn when the Stingray of Eggy finished, and so that was really unfortunate timing, I think. That's the thing about Splatoon, is that patience is key. Gotta have that patience, otherwise you just waste your specials and then nothing happens.
Yep, and so we're gonna be starting this game on Manta Maria Clan Blitz. Manta Maria, as we both said, we both love it. Clan Blitz is probably like one of my favorite modes to play on this map, because it's one of probably like
it's the deepest, or definitely one of the deepest map modes that you can have. There's so much variety, so much you can do with it.
And it looks like we're going to have an Explosion coming out from Swiffy, and we're going to have a Hydra coming back out from JM.
Very interesting picks. These are both not something that you see often.
Yeah.
Actually, no, Explosion you see pretty often on this map.
Explosion you see. Hydra, I don't know. Like, we'll see if it pays out for them. Overpower being taken down 1. Of course, the Hydra has the mines and it has the armor. Very good support weapon, but it has to have the map control, and right there on the mast, unfortunately, they did not have it. Froggy getting a couple hits there on both of the teammates.
Trying to get something happen.
Yeah, unfortunately not able to take out one. Ooh, the Booyah Bomb landed right on him. If Nico didn't kill him, the Booyah Bomb was going to get him.
Yeah, it looks like Nico's trying to consolidate Clams to get that push going real quick, so that's some really good coordination on their part.
Oh,
missing
all
four of them.
And that's what happens when you're clumped up a bit, which unfortunately Eggy has to be that like right now. And Overpower has the definite more map control. And this is what I was talking about when you have the ways of approach. You have the way that Derek's going right now. You have the way that Froggy is defending.
Oh, but he gets called out right quick. That was a really important play by Spider, because if they
had jumped through that, like that would have been an opening push, and that would have caused a lot of havoc on Eggy's side, and they might have been able to score a lot more than they can.
Just that one Spider can get that pick on the other K-Pro.
And so we're actually seeing the Forge Pro coming out, which again, which is what we're talking about with the bubbles. They're able to break through. Looks like that they're going to be cleaned up though, and Sagging is back there fighting the dually player, which unfortunately gets taken out.
JM's still under the nest throwing some clams in.
And
got
they jump,
no ink
and
left.
and Nico gets to jump in. He's just there, holding it down to their cabin. Looks like he's getting pushed off. He's just hanging out now by their sneaky. Like, Eggy right now has the map control in their base and around their basket. They just got to be pushing out a little bit more. I think the problem is just they're just not as aggressive as Overpower right now.
Exactly. Looking at their comp, I mean, they've got
you might be
an
saying that
N-Zap
they're
and
being
a dualies.
overpowered.
Ugh.
And as we're saying this, Nico over here trying to take out Swiffy. The explosion not the best at these close 1v1s, but as lag has shown us, it can work.
Yeah, you don't want to disrespect it. You can fight your way against a 1v1 with an Explosure, but you've got to respect the fact that they can still trip you up on in close range.
Oh, and the Hydra getting taken down. They try to take out Sagan. He's got the jump in.
Sagan
They're close enough.
Getting that jump. They're all jumping in, trying to get as many clams in as they can, hopefully.
And so they go in, and this is going to be a strong push here for Overpower. They're going to get it down to 29. JM should be picking up those clams behind him, but I don't think he notices that they're there. And so...
Oh, Nico gets some very nice picks in their pit.
Yep. And so right now, Sagging Host is trying to hold it down. He's the pro there. If JM would have just turned around and got some of those clams that were on the enemy cabin, they would have been able to keep it open just a little bit longer while Derek was collecting even more clams.
I really like what Derek did right there. He had a power clam, but he dropped it where his teammate was jumping in so that he could go apply some pressure while his teammates were jumping in.
They get both of them. And it's so hard to stop enemy jump-ins like that. You have to time the bombs just right for them to not even be able to throw it, or else the input does go through, unfortunately. Would you say it's harder or easier on land?
I would think it's easier on land, but I think they just didn't have the opportunity, honestly. You know what? I think it's easy in both cases. You just have to get the right timing.
Yep.
The only thing is, in that case, I think there was too many things going on, and so there was not enough time to throw a bomb properly.
Right now we're seeing a push from Eggy. They had the push in. Swiffy's able to get the power clam in. Blush, unfortunately, getting taken out by the bomb. Swiffy needs to make his way out of there. Unfortunately, gets taken out. 3 people shooting at him. You do not want to have a 3v1 with an Explosure.
Yeah, at that point, instead of jumping out, he opted to go
ahead and throw
get
one more
as many clams in as possible, which is I can respect that since jumping out, he just would have went back with his teammates into mid.
Yep.
So you might as well get the points anyway.
And right there, we see the Hydra getting picked off. They were focused on one player too much, and they got a one-track minded. Got that tunnel vision. You see Swiffy over there by their snipe. He's missiled, so he's got to move back a bit. But it looks like Sagan is the one right now with the power clam. Nico, unfortunately, getting taken down by Spider at that moment.
Oh, Spider falling off the map. I think he didn't see that his wall was painted.
See that happen.
Yeah.
And right now at this point, looks like they're just trying to buy time.
Yeah, Overpowered in a very good position.
Yeah, right now they're 3 down. Not entirely sure why he popped Booyah Bomb at that point. He could have just moved in forward.
Jumping to get even more points, just because you might as well.
Yep.
And the overtime right there.
Very very good coordination from Overpower there. We saw a little bit of a there was a little bit of a misstep there in between Eggy. When the Blush went in, he went in with the baller and he was able to hold him off a bit. However, while the other teammates like Froggy and Swiffy had power clams, they were busy fighting other people, and so they were unfortunately not able to push in. And so they unfortunately got picked off, and that was supposed to be a push to get 2 power clams in. They were unfortunately only able to get 1 and like a couple stray clams in, so they only got the push to like 71, I believe.
Yeah.
It's just quite unfortunate. And Sagging Ho, I believe that was a really, really good pick on Sagging Ho because he was able to just jump in. And again.
Yeah, and this is just that push that they were able to get so many clams in. JM was not letting them come in. None of them were able to really come in and stop the push from happening.
Yeah, and if
Nico Loco coming in with that insane double.
Yeah, and if JM would have just turned around, gotten those couple clams, and just swum around, he would have kept that basket a little bit open for Sagan to again go, or Derek to come in with that power clam and just probably almost end the game. If he would have gotten those 4 clams, then
yeah, they came very close, so it might have actually happened at that point.
And here's where I was talking about, where Blush was in there. Swiffy jumps in there with the power. Blush still holding on. Unfortunately, gets taken out by the bomb. At this point, Swiffy He gets that last one in and is taken down by the other teams.
Yeah, so it looks like the next game is actually going to be Splat Zone's Humpback. I'm excited to see that. Oh, yeah, there you go. We see that Hydra getting a pretty cool pick right there.
And if and it looks like we are ready for Splatoon Humpback. Humpback being one of my favorite maps in Splatoon 2.
Of course.
Oh.
It's very good for chargers.
It's very good in general. I think it's one of the best maps for almost every weapon.
I absolutely hate it.
Oh,
the
really?
slopes trip me up so much. The angle, I can't hit people. Like in mid, I forget it.
And so we see, what is that, the NZAP 83 coming out?
Oh, that's interesting.
All right.
That's pretty good for pushing around, super good for painting.
And the vanilla Jet
52.
Squelcher coming out from Eggy.
I like Eggy's comp a lot, actually.
I actually do.
It's very interesting.
We got the, what is that? That's the Grim, right?
Yeah, the Grim Range Blaster, the Kensa Dualies.
We see the wipe on Overpower. Looks like Eggy's going to be able to get that for initial push. Froggy trying to get up there, unfortunately misses that jump. But at this point, at that point, he needed to get up there and just get into their base, cause some havoc. He's marking a lot of them
That's
now.
exactly what he's doing, just waiting for that baller. Nice pick, and then he's got the baller ready, so he's just going to push even more and apply more
and that
pressure.
Hydra might shred him, but it looks like he's able to apply a lot of pressure to that Hydra. That Hydra's not able to apply. Ooh, he's getting that attention.
Great distraction there. They got a lot of points, but it looks like Overpower is going to actually be able to take it back now.
Yep, Froggy's still in there.
He's just working his magic.
But Derek finally takes him out, and looks like Eggy's going to have to take this one a little bit slow. That was a little bit of a forward position for that Hydra. But whatever works.
Ooh, yeah, Nico just obliterated the blaster in close range. That is not what you want to have in your face.
Swiffy is unfortunately getting taken down by the bombs. They need to slow down a bit, paint a bit. They need to gather their specials to push back out. Right now, the entire map is pink. Froggy pushing in there by themselves isn't the smartest move. I like the comp for Eggy. Unfortunately, it has double missiles, which isn't like if they're fired at the same time. It's very, very, very powerful. Unfortunately, they were fired like one after another there, so it allowed the enemy team to dodge a bit better.
Oh no, you cannot challenge Hydra from that far away, man.
They need so Froggy needs to do what he did at the beginning and get up there and cause havoc. And right now, Spider needs to. They need to be using their range to their advantage. They're kind of playing this like a regular blaster, and it's not working out to their favor, especially not to the team favor. Yeah. But I have to say this, Overpower is 2 down, and no one's focusing on the. There we go.
They finally capped the zone. But that's the thing is that actually, now that I'm looking at it, Eggy's comp is very, very low in painting. They've got it looks like they went the route of going more aggressive, trying to get kills, and then holding it. But it doesn't look like it's working out for them so far. It looks like they're consistently able to keep Overpower out.
Derek,
but as I'm saying that,
going ham here, getting that sexy triple. The Dualies now responding. They're by themselves. They don't want to jump down. They want to wait for their teammates. They want to get that special.
Yeah, Derek's just applying so much pressure now.
Unfortunately, Eggy was far away from specials whenever they responded. They have a baller ready, but they need to wait. Like, if they go in there right now, they unfortunately get caught by rain and missiles by Nico. But they need to work with their specials here, and they need to work with what little paint that they have. And they have to get in there. Like right now, getting that pick on Nico was very smart. They have to go in there with that baller right now.
They missiled with the baller, and that's really smart coordination.
There we go.
Right there.
There we go. That's the kind of coordination we need to see with those specials. That's exactly what they need to do, and they did it. Ooh,
that was a really nice kill right there.
Gets that pick off on the Hydra. Gets the pick off on Derek. Right now, Overpower is 2 down, and there looks like they're going to get 3 down.
Flush going off now. Let's go.
I like to see this. Now, I would really love to see Froggy back up there, causing some more havoc, but it looks like he hasn't gotten up there yet. And
yeah, that might not be too easy because there's 2 of them up there right now, and they'll see him coming.
And Blush still right there at the drop, just causing havoc. And Swiffy's still in the base, doing what he's supposed to be doing.
Yeah, he sees that guy on right side right away.
All right, so they do get the pick off on them.
Oh, they were so close to getting the cap,
so
too.
Close, so close. But
looks like
Overpower is 2 down here, and if they're able to get map control, they might be able to hold it for just long enough.
Yeah, hopefully they don't lose any more points to Overpower on this respawn. But right now, it's going to be tough for them to actually get back in.
Got about 15 seconds. Swiffy opting to jump out there. Going to charge the missiles. We're going to have a baller. We're going to have a baller ready really soon. I don't agree with them launching the missiles as soon as they had them. They should have waited for that baller a bit. launching more missiles. All these specials going out, but I don't know if they're going to be able to take.
They were able to cap it, but can they hold it now?
Yeah, that's the big problem. Blush needs to go ham.
Basically.
So like on the comms right now, they need to say Blush make something happen, and Blush is like, okay.
Yeah, so but it looks like that's going to be difficult on the part of Blush because they just popped armor on Overpower, so.
So we see all of Eggy up. They got good positions right now. They need to just. They need to wait for the coordination with the specials. And unfortunately, Blush gets taken down 3 points away from a baller. That could have been a really strong hold if they had it. But unfortunately, it looks like they went 3 down. If Froggy's not there to hold it, looks like they're not going to be able to.
Yeah, Overpower is going to take it right there.
It's unfortunate, but third game goes to Overpower. Overpower is going to be able to take that set.
That was a really exciting set, I have to say.
Yeah, this was actually really exciting because, like we actually saw Eggy trying to, almost, learn and adapt a bit as they were playing, which is really, really cool to see. They started using their special coordinations a lot better. And that comp at the on Splat zones, while it's not the most standard comp, it could have worked.
Yeah, I mean, it was working for them for a while.
Like, if they would have, I think the biggest problem was when Froggy was up there in their base start, they needed Blush with them. If Blush was with them, they would have held it a lot longer.
They would have applied so much pressure because you have double baller at that point.
Yep, exactly. And having them there, if Swiffy would have done the same thing that JM was doing, and go towards the right side and get into their base and shoot from where the snipers usually go, and just apply that range pressure, painting for the aggressors, they might have, and at that point, just leave one at the zone, the range blaster, just calling out where they are, getting some sparks on them. You're golden.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It could have worked. That's such a non-standard comp, but it
almost worked.
Yeah, but it could have worked.
Yeah, I mean, missiles are just a general annoyance an annoyance in general, right? You can push backline really well with that, and just basically get anyone out of zone if they're hanging around there. And then you get your baller going, and we saw that actually in practice, and it was really, really cool to see. But unfortunately, they didn't have the paint with their comp to really hold Overpower out of mid.
I think if they opted to switch the range blaster for a mini,
honestly, yeah, that would have been perfect.
If they switched the range blaster for the vanilla mini, which is the same, it's the same kit, the burst bomb with the missiles,
but with a much better
heavy
painting.
That would have actually probably been a very smart move and probably done a lot better for them.
Yeah, and then we go back to this tower game. That was
that's really unfortunate that the Booyah Bomb gets caught on everything.
Yeah, honestly, you have to be really careful.
A bird flies by, it gets caught. Can you imagine if one of the pigeons flew by and it got caught? That'd be so cool.
Cool, maybe if you're watching it, but
not if you're throwing the Booyah Bomb.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Actually, what we saw is that those games were a little more skewed towards Overpower, and I feel like that's because Froggy was playing NZAP before, whereas in the last game he switched to 52, and he was doing much better. Like at the start, he did so well. Unfortunately, his positioning was a bit off on the second half of that game. But I mean, in general, he was definitely. You could tell he was more comfortable with.
Yeah, and he is a much more prominent 52 gal player, very, very good with all three of them at this point. They're all three different kits that all play different weapons, and so you have to switch your play styles a bit. For clams, I think the Kenza would probably be the best one.
Absolutely, you've got that wall, you've got that Booyah Bomb. It's made for clams.
Honestly, clams, Kenza or vanilla with the baller.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is that if you don't already have a baller weapon on your comp, then you can go with the Kensa. But if you've got, say, Vanilla 52 and K-Pro, that's just as good, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And for Rainmaker or Tower Control, you can honestly go almost any of the variants, and as long as you combine them with different specials and different weapons. This is that right there.
That play was very autopilot.
Yeah, Blush should have stayed back because Swiffy would have taken him out regardless.
Or he could have just been sneakier about it. I totally understand why you would want to go for the backline because they're exposed in that position. Yeah. But the thing is, oh man, Derek getting this insane triple. That was so fun to watch.
That really held it, and that pushed him down to I think the 16 points.
But yeah, like when Blush was trying to get that the Hydra in their window, it's okay to go for that play, but you can't just jump right in front of them if you're not in range of actually hitting them, because then they'll just see you like, oh, what are you doing? And then they'll slot you away.
Approaching
like that's what you want to do.
Exactly. Approaching a Hydra is very finicky, especially like on this kind of map when it's more open. It's a little bit easier. But like let's say it's more like let's say you're approaching them on the street of like Camp Triggerfish or in one of the lanes in Port Mackerel. You have to like so.